So we are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, from the introduction, page number 24. So, so you were here yesterday? So from the top, Yam Yam. Okay. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutabadakamalan Sri Gurund Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakandvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Brijvanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivajari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam Tyajantyante Kalevaram Tam Tam Evam Tikanteya Sadatat Bhava Bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers, when he quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to the state without fail. Now first we must understand that material nature is the display of one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. In the Vishnu Purana, the total energies of the Supreme Lord are delineated. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetra Gyakya Tatha Para Avidya Karma Samgyaya Tritya Shakti Rishyate. The Supreme Lord has diverse and innumerable energies which are beyond our conception. Our great learned sages or liberated souls have studied these energies and have analyzed them into three parts. All of the energies are of Vishnu Shakti, that is to say, they are different potencies of Lord Vishnu. The first energy is Para, transcendental. Living entities also belong to the superior energy, as has already been explained. The other energies or material energies are in the mode of ignorance. At the time of death, either we can remain in the inferior energy of this material world, or we can transfer to the energy of the spiritual world. So the Bhagavad-Gita says, Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam Tyajantante Kalevaram Tam Tamevanti Kaunteya Sadatat Bhava Bhavitaha. What is the state of being one remembers, when he quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state without fail. In life we are accustomed to thinking either of the material or of the spiritual energy. Now, how can we transfer our thoughts from the material energy to the spiritual energy? There are so many literatures which fill our thoughts with the material energy, newspapers, magazines, novels, etc. Our thinking, which is now absorbed in these literatures, must be transferred to the Vedic literatures. The great sages, therefore, have written so many Vedic literatures, such as the Puranas. The Puranas are not imaginative, they are historical records. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is the following verse: Maya Mugdha Jivaranahi Svata Krishna Gyan Jivera Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Puran. The forgetful living entities are conditioned souls. The forgetful living entities or conditioned souls have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord, and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities. just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky, Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas has given a great number of Vedic literatures. First he divided the Vedas into 4. Then he explained them in the Puranas. And for less capable people he wrote the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata there is given the Bhagavad-Gita. Then all Vedic literature is summarized in the Vedanta Sutra. And for further guidance he gave a natural commentation on the Vedanta Sutra called Srimad Bhagavatam. We must always engage our minds in reading these literatures. Just as materialists engage their minds in reading newspapers, magazines and so many materialistic literatures, we must transfer our reading to these literatures, which are given to us by Vyasadeva. In that way, it will be possible for us to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. That is the only way suggested by the Lord, and He guarantees the result. There is no doubt. So here Srila Prabhupada is quoting an important verse from the Bhagavad-Gita 2 times, from the 8th chapter, text number 6. Yam yam vapismaram bhavam tyajantante kalevaram. Kalevaram, the body, ante, at the time, at the end of life. Tyajante, one has to give up the body. So, one should remember the Supreme Lord, that He has then explained in the next verse, or He has explained to Arjun, that you should always try to think of me, even while fighting, while performing your duty. And so if you remember me at the time of death, then you will come to me. Of this there is no doubt. But then here specifically in this verse is mentioning that yam yam vapismaram bhavam tam tam evanti. So whatever you remember, according to that, so we'll get a body in the next life. So if one is, of course, remembering Krishna, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's pastimes, then he will be transferred to where Krishna is. He will be able to go to the spiritual world. But if one is thinking of his family, of material things, then he will have to take birth again in this material world. So that that is actually the pariksha, antim pariksha. We have many exams, so to say. So many tests are there in life. First of all, already as a child we have to go to school, and then every year or even throughout the year there are a few exams are there, tests are there, and one has to pass all of them. And then from going from one class to the second class, so at the end of the year there is a test, and then one has to pass, and then one can go to the next class. So but then throughout one's life different tests are there, different difficulties are there to overcome. But the last test is actually the time of death. Antim pariksha, the last exam is there. So the time of death, ante Narayana smriti. One should remember Narayan, one should remember Krishna. And then one can go to Krishna. So it is not possible to do whatever one wants throughout the life, and then at the time of death, so because many people, they may also say, oh yes, I believe in God, I believe in Krishna, and in my old age I will try to remember Him. but now I have other things to do. No, but this is not possible. This will not work. One has to practice throughout one's lifetime. And then it is possible, if one has practiced nicely, if one has passed all the tests, if one has gotten the mercy of the spiritual master of Krishna, then it may be possible that at the time of death one can remember Krishna and then go to Krishna. So, in this purport also in the Bhagavad-Gita to these verses from the 8th chapter, Yam Yam Vabhismaram Bhavam, the 3 verses there. So the Prabhupada has explained in the purport that it is not so easy to remember Krishna. But by chanting the holy names of the Lord, especially the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then one is actually connected to Krishna. In the beginning one may not be able to see Krishna, but simply by the sound vibration one is connected to Krishna. But as one becomes more and more purified, then one will be able to see Krishna while chanting the holy names. And then one may be able to see Krishna's associates and Krishna's pastimes in the perfect state. So we have to practice throughout the life. So this Krishna consciousness is a cultivation. We have to cultivate being Krishna conscious. So every day, right from the time when we get up, as soon as we get up, we have to try to remember Krishna, the Supreme Lord or the Spiritual Master, because without the Spiritual Master it is not possible to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So right when we get up, we have to try to remember Guru, Gauranga and Krishna. And then different duties are there, and according to one's ability, according to one's liking also, and so whatever it may be, but at the same time one has to try to remember Krishna, be connected to Krishna, and the Kali Yuga especially then by chanting the holy names. So then it is possible that at the time of death one can remember Krishna, and then one can go to Krishna. So Prabhupada is also here quoting a verse from one of the Puranas. There it is mentioned that the Supreme Lord, He has many energies. And Prabhupada then has explained that so basically there are 3 Tritya Shakti Rishyate. So that is explained. One is the Parashakti, the superior, the spiritual energy. And then Kshetra Gyakya. So then the living entity is there, who is coming from the marginal potency Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. And then comes the inferior energy, the material energy. So the living entity, so he can, or he should try to be under the spiritual energy. Then he can become perfect. So he has to try to become free from the external energy. So that is an important point. Of course, it is mentioned in the literatures, Vedic literatures, that the Supreme Lord, and Prabhupada has mentioned, also has innumerable energies, but basically 3 are main energies. But even amongst them, there are so many varieties are there. For example, the internal energy, they may be divided in 3 also. Sandhini Shakti, Samvid Shakti, and Halladini Shakti. So the existence potency, just like Krishna, Satchidananda Swarup is eternal, Sat, that is the Sandhini, existence, eternal existence. And then the Chik Shakti, the knowledge Shakti. So the potency of knowledge. So Krishna himself is the personification of that. The spiritual knowledge is there, which is required in order to advance in spiritual life. And then comes the Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency of the Lord, represented by Srimati Radharani. So that is also required in order to advance and in order to please Krishna. So Krishna is the object of all knowledge. He is the supreme enjoyer. And the Vishai Vigraha. And so the energy of the Lord Srimati Radharani is the Ashray Vigraha, the abode of the love. So in order to serve Krishna, in order to be able to satisfy Krishna as he likes, we have to be under the shelter of the Ashray Vigraha, Srimati Radharani, or the representatives of Srimati Radharani, the spiritual master, Ashray Vigraha. And then it is possible to satisfy Krishna. And then there's a loving exchange with Krishna. So, but then even so, the external energy, which is known as the inferior energy, so has various manifestations. Even that is explained in Bhagavad-Gita. So, for example, even the gross body, the body of every human being. So, there's a gross body made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then the subtle body made of the mind, the intelligence, and then the false ego, the ego, that I exist, or I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm a pilot, I'm a cook, or whatever. So there's the identity in this material world which has it is not completely false, but it is temporary. But the real nature is that I am the eternal son of Krishna. That is the real ego. So beyond the gross and subtle body. But even then, for example, we have the eternal potency, Sandhini Shakti, and then the Samvit Shakti, the knowledge potency, and the Hladini, the pleasure potency. So that is also manifested in a perverted form in the material world. The Jnana Shakti, the knowledge potency. Even so many people in the material world, they have knowledge about so many things in this material world. But if Krishna is not in the center, then the Jnana is there, the knowledge is there, but it is material knowledge. And then the Dravya, that is the perverted reflection of the existent potency, that is the Dravya, the different objects which are there in material world. And they have some existence, but it is not permanent. Like, for example, this building here, this guest house or Prabhupada's house. It is quite strong and it will stay maybe for 50 years, maybe for 100 years, maybe 200, but no more. And then it will fall, it will collapse. Nothing is permanent in this material world. So it stays for some time. You have this small table or small almirah that will stay for some time. But it is not permanent. So it is material because it is material. So that is the Dravya Shakti. And then the Kriya Shakti. So activity has to be there in this material world. So that is the perverted reflection of the pleasure potency. Hladini Shakti, Srimati Radharani, who is engaged in serving Krishna, in loving exchange. And then also her associates, the gopis, or others who want to serve Krishna. So they engage in activity for the pleasure of the Lord. But in the material world, so many activities are there, Kriya Shakti is there, but Krishna is not in the center, so that is material. So one has to try to see that one is able to be situated under the internal energy. And so for that purpose, so we have to know both about the spiritual world, the spiritual energy, about the Supreme Lord. One must have knowledge, but then also one should know about this material world. And for example, the three modes of material nature are there. and the Rajagun, Tamagun and Sattvagun. And then, so one has to know also about this material world, to become free from this material world. So we have this body, we have to use the body, the material consciousness, the material elements in the service of the Lord. So because the spiritual nature is not yet revealed, is not yet manifested, so therefore we have to use the material elements also in Krishna's service. And then by doing everything for Krishna's pleasure, with body, mind and words, then slowly but surely the consciousness becomes purified. And then one is able to perceive Krishna, remember Krishna, engage in Krishna's service. So the consciousness first, and then the body also is engaged in Krishna's seva. And the more we are engaged in Krishna's service, the more we become purified in consciousness, and then we can see our real nature, the spiritual nature. So it is not something just theoretical, but it is practical. So in the beginning we can understand, I am not this body, I am spirit soul. And we may believe in God, so the existence of God, Krishna, and the relationship with Him. So but then one has to realize that also, and that is only possible if one is constantly engaged in spiritual activities. So one more point he's making here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, so that the living entity is accustomed in thinking. That is natural. One has to think. One cannot be without thinking. It is not possible. So then one has to choose to think about spiritual activities, about Krishna, spiritual activities. So then he's explaining, so there are many literatures are there, newspapers and magazines and novels about, also about so different persons in this world, maybe real or fictitious. But then we should rather try to think about the Lord and the Lord's devotees by referring to the Vedic literatures, by reading the Vedic literatures, as explained here. So by Prabhupada, the Puranas are there. So first of all, the Veda was there. Veda means also knowledge, which is not different from the Lord, transcendental knowledge. And then, so actually that knowledge was given by the Supreme Lord Himself to Lord Brahma. And then he repeated that, what he had heard, to his disciples. And then Veda Vyas, who is well known, and so who wrote actually down the Vedic literatures. First it was given by speaking, and then it was received by oral reception. And there was, because previously the human beings, they were much more elevated in the mode of goodness, so they were able to remember whatever they heard. But then, because it is a vast body of knowledge, the one Veda was divided into 4. But then, so to learn everything, it takes so much time. So therefore Vyasadeva, so he also, and it is not so easy to understand the Vedic literatures, the Veda or the 4 Vedas. So therefore Veda Vyas, he also compiled the Puranas, as mentioned here, and Itihasas. These are the histories. Histories means actually about the different personalities of God had to come in this material world, and the devotees of the Lord, and the pastimes of the Lord. So these are transcendental histories actually, and we should understand that the Vedas, and the Puranas, and all these histories, they're transcendental, and actually they are eternal. And sometimes they are manifested in this world, and sometimes they are unmanifested. Just like this material world is sometimes manifested, and sometimes it is not. So when this material world is manifested for the benefit of the conditioned souls, the Vedic literatures are manifested, so that the conditioned soul may take advantage. But usually they then manifest also through the Supreme Lord Himself, or through His representative, like Lord Brahma or Veda Vyas. And then as explained here in the purport by Prabhupada, so because even the Puranas, they are so vast. It is mentioned there are 400,000 verses of the Puranas. 400,000 verses, so that's a lot, and a normal human being, he can never read all of them, and that is only, actually that is only just actually you may say the essence of the Puranas, because just like Krishna is unlimited, so even the Puranas are practically almost unlimited. So therefore in the higher planets of the demigods, Shatakoti, there are 100 koti means 10 million, so 100 times 10 million, 1 billion verses are there, the Puranas. So because they live longer, they are more intelligent, they can read faster and remember better, so they can read this so many verses. But in this Kali Yuga and this material world and this planet, Earth planet, the human beings are more conditioned, and so therefore there are only 400,000 verses of the 18 Puranas, 6 Puranas for those situated in mode of goodness, 6 Puranas for those situated in mode of passion, and 6 for those situated in a mode of ignorance, so that gradually everyone may be elevated to a higher platform, because not everyone is able to immediately come to a high platform of God consciousness, of Krishna consciousness. It is a gradual development. Just like in school, the children, they have to go first class, second class, primary, secondary school, and so on. Same with the study of the scriptures. So not everyone is able to immediately understand everything about the Lord. So it is a gradual process. So therefore the Puranas are there, divided in 3 parts, for persons on the different levels. So, but then there was a need also to write some literatures so that everyone can study them, and which are not so vast. So therefore the Vedanta Sutra was giving the essence of the Veda in short, and then but after that also, then especially of course the Srimad Bhagavatam was there, which is actually the essence of the Puranas and of the Vedic literatures. And these are only 18,000 verses, but of course even to read the 18,000 verses it takes some time. But at least one should try to read the whole Bhagavatam, which is the essence of the Vedic literatures. Vedanta Sar, so the essence of the Vedic literatures. And then by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and about the Supreme Lord and His pastimes, then one will be able to be absorbed in that, and then one can properly understand the absolute truth and understand what one has to do and what one should not do, and then he can become elevated gradually, step by step. And then, but of course, one has to read these Vedic literatures also in the association of the devotees who are experienced in spiritual life. And the person Bhagavat, who has realized the purport of the Vedic literatures of the Bhagavatam, and who has fully absorbed himself in that, and who is fully engaged in devotional service, and who has realized the form of the Lord, the transcendental form, and his own form and relationship with the Supreme Lord. So under the guidance of such a person, one should then study the Bhagavatam, but then even more than that, one has to do some practical activity, as explained before, kriya. Some activity has to be there. So, but that should be spiritual activity. So that is also again with the guidance of the spiritual master will engage us in such a way that we are properly situated, and then we can be satisfied in our activity, and that we can gradually advance in our spiritual life to the highest stage. And by following that, the process given by the spiritual master, who is a representative of the Lord, so then it is guaranteed. And Prabhupada is explaining, and Krishna is saying that there is no doubt one will come back to the spiritual world. You will come to me. Many times Krishna is saying that to Arjuna. And you perform this devotional service, you remember me, you engage in my service, and then you will come to me. Of this there is no doubt. So the spiritual master also is repeating the message of Krishna. And he will assure the disciples also, you just follow the instructions, as I'm telling you, which is actually Krishna's instruction, and then you will be able to go to the spiritual world. And there is no doubt about this. This process is actually very wonderful. And even if one is not qualified in the beginning, but by the mercy of the Lord and the spiritual master, one can quickly become actually qualified and make more and more advancement in spiritual life. Actually, it is mentioned in the Vedic literatures that the study of the Vedic literatures, actually, the Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, even the Bhagavatam, so that was actually, the study was done by those who are in mode of goodness, those who are Brahmanically inclined, those who are intelligent and who are in the mode of goodness. So they were allowed to study the scriptures previously. And others, they were only allowed to sometimes listen from those who have studied. But then if one is under the guidance of the spiritual master, even if one doesn't have much qualification, which in the age of Kali, not many persons actually have the qualification and come to the status of being a qualified Brahmana. But by the mercy of the Lord and the spiritual master, for example, Vyasadeva also, he compiled the Mahabharata, so which is actually also part of the Puranas, or it is part of the histories, and everything is included there in our Mahabharata. And it is mentioned that everyone can study that, even if they are not highly qualified. But again, there it must be in the association of the saintly persons. Then one will be able to understand these Vedic literatures. But then it is recommended, especially in the age of Kali, that one should study the scriptures, one would hear, if one is not so studious or intelligent, materially speaking, then so he should take shelter of the spiritual master, and then he should hear from the spiritual master and follow the instructions of the spiritual master, and then he can also become qualified to make more and more advancement. So especially by chanting the holy names, the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because actually by nature everyone is an eternal servant of Krishna. But according to previous activities and previous desires and activities, as a result of that, one has for example, a very healthy body, a beautiful body, or is very intelligent, very rich, due to past pious activities. But somebody who has not been so pious, so he may not be very rich and not very intelligent, but because everyone is a spirit soul, And everyone can actually transcend this material body, the gross and subtle body, in the association of the Lord and the association of the representative of the Lord, the spiritual master especially. And by following the instructions of the spiritual master, which are Krishna's instructions, then anyone, even those who may not be so qualified, materially speaking, but they can also advance, because by nature everyone is a servant of Krishna, a servant of God. And everyone has a right to serve the Supreme Lord, because that is the nature of every living entity. Jivera sopoy Krishnera nityadas. Everyone is eternal servant of Krishna. So ultimately there is no impediment on this path of spiritual life. So these external difficulties which are there, they can be overcome by taking shelter of the spiritual master and by chanting the holy names. But of course, so it is a gradual process, and one has to be fully absorbed with body, mind and words, and endeavor to the best of one's ability. And then in due course of time, so one can become perfect. And one can actually practically also experience the progress one is making. That one will gain more and more knowledge in the association of the devotees by reading the scriptures. One will gain more and more knowledge, and by serving the Lord, one will feel transcendental pleasure. And then what one has read and heard, one can realize that, the subject matter. First one has to hear, and then one has to practice, one has to serve, one has to chant the holy names, one has to repeat what one has heard, and then there will be realization of the subject matter. And then one can advance more. But one has to constantly be engaged in devotional activities, and one has to constantly hear from the higher authorities. And then gradually we can advance more and more up to the highest level. And so in the spirit life, so success is guaranteed. It is guaranteed if one is sincere, serious and constantly endeavoring for perfection, then success is guaranteed. There's no material impediment ultimately. Even giving up the body, if one is not if one is not perfect in one's spiritual life, then at the time of death, so one will have to change the body. But that is then not significant, because the Lord is helping, and He will put that devotee so in another body, but in such a body and such a circumstance that he can advance more. Krishna himself is saying Bhagavad-Gita, if one is not perfect in his spiritual life, then he will take birth in a family of devotees or into an aristocratic family, and then he will again associate with the devotees, and then he can make more advancement. So this will go on till perfection. But one has to always be endeavoring for perfection and be very sincere and serious, and always humble, tolerant and respectful, and always chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Any question? What is medium of Radha Madhav? Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. What is the meaning? Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. You want to know the whole. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Very beautiful song. Little, just 4 lines. And Prabhupada used to sing every day before the Bhagavatam or before the Bhagavad-Gita. And that little song was composed actually by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of the previous acharyas. And he had small deities from the family deity of Radha Madhav. And they come from Orissa every year to our temple, and they are on our altar of Radha Shyama Sundar for 1 month during the month of Kartik. So he was singing for Radha Madhav, for his deities, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. So Radha, as we know, Srimati Radharani, the internal potency of the Lord, the pleasure potency of the Lord, the greatest devotee of Krishna, who has the greatest love for Krishna. So, Prem, Mahabhav. So different levels of Prem are there. Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav. And then even Mahabhav, which only Radharani and the Gopis have, but even there the different levels are there. Rur, Adirur, Bhav, and so on. So, Mahabhav Sarupini. So she is the embodiment of the highest love of Krishna. Srimati Radharani, Radha. So that means also that comes from the word Aradhanam. The worship. She is the best worshipper of Krishna. Brajabadu Varganaya Kalpitaha. So the upasana, the worship of the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani, that is most excellent. And it is even not so easy to understand this pure love of the gopis. So only by engaging in devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master we can get a glimpse. The more we advance in spiritual life, the more we can understand the glories of the gopis and especially Srimati Radharani and her love towards Krishna. Madhav. So Madhav is a name of Krishna. Krishna has so many names according to his qualities, according to his relations with his devotees, and according to his pastimes also. So Madhav, Madhav is actually indicating the goddess of fortune. So Dhav means the husband. So and Radharani, she is the original Shakti of Krishna, the original of all the goddesses of fortune also. And so Krishna is the Adipurush, the original being, supreme being, Swayam Bhagavan. So he's the beloved, the husband of Srimati Radharani, Madhav. Very dear. Of course, Madhav in Sanskrit it can have so many meanings. So many words can have so many meanings. Madhav means also the spring season. So many meanings may be there. And even for one item, one object, there may be many Sanskrit words like the sun. Surya, Bhaskar, Mitra, Ravi, and so on. At least 12 names are there for the sun. So, but here, so Madhav means the husband of the goddess of fortune, that is Krishna. And the original goddess of fortune, that is Srimati Radharani, Radha Madhava. Kunja Bihari. So Bihari means one who is wandering around in Vrindavan, in Braj, performing his wonderful pastimes. Bihar means a kind of pastime. Bihari, one who performs pastimes. Kunja, Nikunja. Kunja means a place, a beautiful place. Vrindavan is most beautiful. Of course, now it is a little bit covered by the street, which is like made with asphalt and the big almost skyscrapers are not only 4 or 5 stories, but still. So it is still wonderful, Vrindavan, but some of the charm has gone because of big buildings, and it is not so clean anymore because there are many plastic bags, and many persons are coming here who are not so much in the mode of goodness, not so much transcendental. So it's a kind of external covering is there, and yes, so but we have to try to be transcendental. But originally Vrindavan is the most beautiful, and even when I came here first 1980, it was a very peaceful place, and the Jamuna river was transparent. We used to drink the Jamuna river. Now we cannot even think. We are even afraid of taking bath because of pollution. And there were not many buildings and hardly any cars. There were only 2-3 phones, one here in the guest house, one in the post office, and so one or 2 rich person had a phone. It was very peaceful, very beautiful. So many peacocks, so many parrots, so many cows wandering, and fresh air. So wonderful. And then there, so the kunjas are there. That means some bushes and creepers are there. And the gopis, expertly, they make a kind of what you call bower house, with these creepers and with the so with the wood from the trees or the branches, So they make a small place where Krishna can be, and the gopis will be there too. A little cottage, so to say, also you may say. So Krishna is going there and performing his pastimes, and there with the gopis. Yamuna Tira Vanachari, again there, Yamuna Tira, Yamuna, the holy Yamuna river. So, and everything in the spiritual world is transcendental, conscious. And Yamuna Devi is there, the personified form of the holy river, also Gopi. So when Krishna, the bank of the Jamuna, Vanachari, Vana means the forest, Vrindavan, where there are many Vrinda, Tulsi trees. So Vanachari, Krishna is there, he's roaming around there in the forest or at the bank of the Jamuna. And then he's going to the Kunja. And there, Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, and he's meeting there the gopis. There's one small book, Chamatkar Chandrika. Chamatkar, it is very astonishing. Chandrika, it is the moonbeam, for example, the sunlight is there, the sun's rays, and the moon's rays are there also. So in the winter we like the sun's rays, very nice. It's giving a little bit relief from the cold. And at night time, when a full moon is there, it is more cold. So yeah, then we have to cover up ourselves. But in the summer it's just the opposite. We try to stay away from the sun. Although it's known as Mitra is our friend, in the winter is our friend. But in the summer we show respect to the sun, but we are not going close to him. We even have umbrella to be protected from the sun, or we stay inside the house. But the night time, especially on a full moon night, because during the day it is hot. Of course now we have AC, but when I first came there was no AC. And hardly any air coolers were there, so it was very hot. 50 degrees in the shade during the day. And night time, 32, 34, 36 degrees. So very hot. And sometimes no electricity, like when I first came, 1980. Now we have generator, backup, battery system, but that time there was a generator, but most of the time it was broken, it didn't work. So during the day hot, and night time very hot. But then night time in the summer, the moon, full moon is there, and then the cooling moon rays are there. You get a little relief. So this book is there, Chamatkar Chandrika. So showing some pastimes of Krishna and Braj. So there it is explained, Krishna is very wonderful, the Supreme Lord, but performing wonderful pastime. Sometimes mischievous pastimes are there, but very beautiful. So Kunja Bihari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, he's there at the bank of the Jamuna. The gopis are calling him in the Kunja. Hey, come here, Krishna. Krishna is going there. And they're having some fun. And the Kunja. So not everybody likes when Krishna is with the gopis. So Jatila, Kuitili are there, the sister-in-law and mother-in-law of Radharani. So they're always in search of Radharani and thinking, where is she? And maybe Krishna is there. And the Bauchi Krishna is there. Surely with Radharani they have some doubts. Then they come to the bank of the Jamuna one time. So Kutila was there, and then so she got the hint that she's there, Radharani with Krishna. So she goes, and then Krishna, of course, because at the gate of the Kunja, the gopis are there, and they see, Kutila is coming. They quickly go inside and tell Krishna, you go away from here quickly. Krishna goes away. And then Kutila comes and looking inside, I know Krishna is here, but Krishna has already gone. Meantime, Krishna quickly goes to the house of Kutila and Jatila, and then Abhimanyu, the so-called husband of Radharani, so he had just gone to some other place to take care of the cows, and Krishna comes disguised as Abhimanyu. And then he tells, and then meantime, Kutila goes back again, was not successful in finding Krishna. And then Krishna, disguised as Abhimanyu, is telling, listen, my mother and sister, this debauchee Krishna is coming very soon, and what he's doing, this rascal is dressed up as myself, as Abhimanyu. So don't let him in. Oh, sure, we will not let him in. Okay. And then Krishna, disguised Abhimanyu, he just goes a little bit aside, and then the real Abhimanyu comes, and then they are just, of course, rebuking him and telling, oh Krishna, you rascal, you're disguised as our son Abhimanyu. You just go away from here. And then they are throwing different things, some rotten tomatoes and some cow dung, dry and wet one. And then he just has to run away. And Krishna is just watching from a little distance and laughing. So that is there. So Kunja Vihari, so performing his wonderful pastimes with the gopis. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopijana Vallabha, Gopijan. Gopi, the gopis, cowherd girls, Radhani and the other gopis, Lalita Vishaka. Jan, that means the girls, the Gopi Jan, that means the different gopis which are there. Vallabha means the beloved of the gopis, of the different gopis, that is Krishna. Girivaradhari, Dhari, Giri, Var. So Girivaradhari, Girivar, the many hills are there. Of course, here around here, not so many hills are there, but a few hills are there. And but even then you go higher to the Himalayas, big hills are there, mountains. But the best of all Giri, of all the mountains, that is Giriraj Govardhan. Giriraj Govardhan ki. And so why is he the best? Haridasya Varya, because he's the best of the servants of Krishna. So the gopis are proclaiming who are actually the greatest. But because in the spiritual world, the humility is such that even the most advanced devotee doesn't think he's most advanced. He thinks he's most insignificant. That's a paradox. But it is true, it is like this. He doesn't think he is advanced, although he's most advanced. So the gopis are most exalted, most advanced. But they're thinking Giriraj is the best of the devotees. And he's also a wonderful devotee. He's not just the stone. It's conscious, Satyanananda Swarup. And he's serving Krishna, he's serving the gopis, he's serving all the Brijabasis. So therefore he's addressed Girivara, the best of the hills. So Krishna Dhari, Dhara. So the Dhari is one who is, Dhara is lifting. Girivara Dhari. He's the lifter of Govardhan. Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dhari. Yashoda Nandana. Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana. Nandana means the son of Maria Yashoda. Brajajana Ranjana. Brajajan. Jan again, the people of Braj. Brajajana. Ranjana, giving pleasure to all the Brijabasis. Not just the gopis, but Maria Yashoda, Nanda Baba, the friends, Sudam, Sridam, Madhumangal, even the servants, Patrak, Raktak, who are simply serving in the house Krishna. But Krishna has a loving relationship with everyone. He doesn't just think, I am the son of King Maharaj, Nanda Maharaj, I am the son, I am the prince. Everyone has to serve me. No. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but is most humble, most caring, most loving. So he has a loving relationship with everyone, even the servants. But by etiquette, he's not allowed to, he's not supposed to embrace the servants. But when Maria Yashoda is not there, or the elders are not there, he may also sometimes embrace the servants, because he has this love for everyone. And they want to be embraced by Krishna. And then even the animals, the cows, the calves, they love Krishna, and Krishna loves them. And they want to be embraced by Krishna, and he's embracing them. Even the trees. They're not just trees, they are giving kalpa vriksha. So whatever one desires, they can give. So Krishna is touching the trees also, embracing the trees, or touching the creepers, even the grass, everything. Even the stones. Krishna is in his he's having the exchange with all the Brijabasis, all the inhabitants of Braj, even the animals and even the trees. He's touching them, and so they feel transcendental pleasure. So Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. So giving pleasure to all the Brijabasis, Brajajan. Okay? Is it all right? Okay. Yes.
Now you have told so many nice things. I hardly dare to ask my question.
Okay.
Maharaj, talking about the pastime of Krishna.
Yes.
Which you have to remember as much as possible.
Yes.
At the moment of death.
Yes.
Is the pastime? How can I say? Where can I pass? Is it specifically the Krishna books or all the books? Where can I find specifically the pastimes of Krishna? The
pastimes of Krishna, yes. First of all, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto. So there it is, the 10th canto is the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is in 3 parts: Krishna's pastimes in Braj, and then Krishna's pastimes in Mathura, and then Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka. So these 3 most sweet and most important are Krishna's pastimes in Braj. So the first 35 chapters. But then even throughout the Bhagavatam, in different places, some of the pastimes of Krishna are hinted at. But then especially in the 10th canto one will find that. But then even in some of the Puranas, so like Padma Purana and other Puranas, especially those in the mode of goodness, the Puranas for those in the mode of goodness, so some descriptions of Krishna's pastimes are there. And the Puranas. And so even so in the Vedic literature, so it is there, Krishna's pastimes. But not so much as in the Bhagavatam. So because Bhagavatam, so that is the essence of the Vedic literatures, and Narada Muni actually instructed Vyasadeva because he was not fully satisfied after presenting all the Vedic literatures. And then he was asking Narad and then Narad asked him, so you're satisfied? And he said, no, not completely. And what is the reason? Then he told him, because you're not sufficiently glorifying Krishna. So therefore he presented the Bhagavatam, and especially the 10th canto. Then he was fully satisfied. But then the other literatures also, especially Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so who is non different from Radha Krishna, for our benefit, he through his disciples, through his associates, so he manifested all the pastimes of Krishna. So he told the 6 Goswamis to go to Braj and excavate the lost pastimes, places of the Lord in Braj, and then also to write transcendental literatures for our benefit. So these literatures, they are there by the 6 Goswamis. And so after having read all of the books presented by Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and so many other small books are there. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, also presented by Prabhupada. There is a process of how to advance in spiritual life, and that is intertwined with so many of Krishna's pastimes. But then after Prabhupada also explained that we may read the books of the previous acharyas. So after having studied Prabhupada's books, under the guidance of the spiritual master, with the blessings, with the help of the spiritual master, then we may also study the other literatures of the 6 Goswamis, like Jiva Goswami. So he gave a commentary on the Bhagavatam, so the Sat Sandarbhas. And then, for example, he wrote one book, Gopal Champu, that is also about Krishna's pastimes in Braj. That is in 2 parts, that book. The first part is about all of Krishna's pastimes in Braj. The second part of that book is about Krishna's pastime in Mathura and Dwarka.
What was the name of it?
Gopal Champu. Yes. And yes. So actually, it is basically similar to the Bhagavatam, but some pastimes which are not in the Bhagavatam, they are there in this book, Gopal Champu. And then the other acharyas have given other literatures in which Krishna's pastimes are there. So under the guidance of the advanced devotee, then we may read those other books, and then we may be able to be more absorbed. And of course the Chaitanya Charitamrita is about Mahaprabhu's pastimes, that we also have to study, and by studying about Mahaprabhu, then automatically we are also reminded of Krishna, because Mahaprabhu showed us how to be a devotee, and especially serving Krishna with Braj Bhav. So that he was showing by his personal example, and he was discussing the books of previous acharyas and the association of his dear associates, Sarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda Roy, like Gita Govind and other books. And so, which eventually, if one is qualified, one can study these books, then one can be fully absorbed. And Prabhupada has also explained the Krishna Bhavanamrit. So that is by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, about Krishna's pastime throughout the day and night. So the advanced devotee, they relish these books. Or Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami also wrote after Chaitanya Charitamrita, Govinda Lilamrita, about Krishna's pastimes in Braj. So, but one must be qualified to hear this book. So, under the guidance of the spiritual master, we should, we may be able in the future to read these books. But then there are some other books showing the process, which may be there, but only with the guidance of the spiritual master. But for us now, so it is sufficient to read the Krishna book, and so which is about Krishna's pastimes in Braj and then Mathura and Dwarka. But specifically, we may emphasize the reading of Krishna in Braj, because we want to go to Braj. If we want to go to Braj, we have to hear about Krishna in Braj, then we can go to Braj. And later on, with the permission of the spiritual master, under his guidance, in his association, we may also hear other literatures. Okay?
Guru, two little things more. This is coming on internet or YouTube or
this is ISKCON TV. ISKCON TV.
Okay.
And then
And is it once, or can you often watch?
Yeah, you can watch it again and again.
Again and again.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And something else. You were just talking in the beginning about the names of the holy names. When we die, we should remember the holy names of the Lord. My question, I never have understood that. I never understood that. Is the holy names, is that including the 16 Mahamantra, Hare Krishna,
Yes.
or is it also Vishnu and Narayan and Vasudev, or is it only the Mahamantra? It's all included. The holy names of the Lord included in the Mahamantra.
Well, the most important mantra, of course, is the Mahamantra, and then Hare Krishna.
16 names.
16 names, yes. But the holy names, so that this means the holy names, means the Mahamantra, but it may be also other names, holy names. Like there are more mantras also, like the Gayatri mantras which are there, but or just any name of the Lord which is there, Yashodanandan, Gopinath, Radharaman. So these are primary name of Krishna and Braj, Mukhya Naam, and the Mahamantra is most important. And then by chanting the Mahamantra especially, we can quickly advance. But you can chant any name of the Lord and you will get some benefit. Yes, Om Namo. Yeah. Yes.
So actually, specifically, they mean the Mahamantra.
Yes. Because that is most important. That is most important, and everything is included. That is not, the Mahamantra is not different from Radha and Krishna. And then all the pastimes of Krishna are included in that. Everything is included in that. But chanting this Mahamantra, then everything will be revealed in due course of time.
Okay, because actually the Mahamantra has 3 words.
Hare, Krishna and Ram. Yes.
And Hare, actually in English they say, oh, glories to the inner love, energy.
Now Hare, so that can have 2 meanings. Hara, so that is the internal energy, Srimati Radharani. But when you pronounce it, when you call out, you don't say Ha Radha, you say Hey Radhe or Hare. So in the vocative it is Hare. Hara becomes Hare. But in the Hare, then they may refer also to Hari. Hare may refer to Hari also. But mostly it depends on the consciousness. We address actually Srimati Radharani, the internal potency. And Krishna is Krishna, and Ram again, that is Radhika Raman, Krishna who is performing pastimes with Srimati Radharani, the source of all pleasure also, Ram. So Ram can refer to Krishna, it can refer to Balaram, it can refer to Ramchandra Bhagavan or Parashuram.
So the three names, Hare, Krishna and Ram, I have to accept these are the 16 names of the Lord.
Oh no, these are three names. These are three names, but the Mahamantra is 16. Yeah, 16 you count. Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare. 16 names are there. Right? So that is the Mahamantra, most purifying, most powerful. Everything is included in that. So therefore we chant the Mahamantra, so we can quickly advance. So that is the quickest way to advance in spiritual life, is by chanting the Mahamantra. But one has to chant it under the guidance of the advanced devotee. One has to hear about Krishna, one has to serve Krishna. Then one can properly chant the Mahamantra, otherwise it's not possible. Otherwise you can go on for lives after life, you can chant for many lifetimes. Okay?
Okay, something last time.
Okay, last question.
What you can see on the internet,
Uh-huh.
Is it also, because I don't have internet.
Yeah.
Is it possible to put it on a USB stick or something?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, nowadays everything is
Sometimes
possible.
it's okay.
No, everything is possible nowadays. You can do so many things. Yeah. So it is very helpful. Yeah. All this modern technology, but it is not everything. The most important is actually our bhav, our consciousness, our love towards Krishna. But we take the help of internet and all these material things. That is useful. Yeah.
This was very, very useful.
Hare Krishna.
Very useful.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Gantra Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki. And just to top it up, we have a little Mahaprasad for everyone.